You really want this place, don't you?
I do.
Welcome to Foxglove. I'm Charlie Peck.
This view is beautiful.
It's the only house I ever lived in.
Nice-looking family.
We always had a lot of love here. This house is yours now.
We'll take good care of her.
I'm gonna hold you to that.
Have a good time in Florida, buddy.
You're not gonna believe this. Charlie is outside cutting the grass.
What?
Did you just get this out of the garage?
That's right, keep it.
Something is really off with that guy.
Hi. Hey, Scott. Hello.
Hey, stop drilling holes in my house!
It's not your house.
Charlie's quite a guy. You know his wife died in that house.
You think that's blood?
Your days of dropping by are over.
It's hard to say goodbye.
He's watching you. This guy is dangerous. What the hell?
Stop!
You're not dying today.
The Intruder. Rated PG-13.
I saw the movie on Monday, and I have to tell you, it scared the hell out of me. Like, I was in the building. Yeah, I was like, I gotta get a beer. I was at the Alamo Draft House, and then like 20 minutes in, I was like, I need to get a beer. Because it's getting real. But
Very good. So you saw it with a crowd then.
yes, and it was a good crowd too, because they was into it the whole time. Like, it was that crowd that
Right.
talked to the screen, you know what I'm saying? Like, have like loud
Yeah.
expressions.
That's what's crazy is because, like, I've seen this movie more than I've seen any other movie that I've been in, because when I saw it with the first crowd in Atlanta, and I was like, oh, my God, everybody's so activated. This is, like, amazing. After that, every city we went to, I just kept, sitting through the screening because people were just, like, going off.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's, like, a fun, interactive movie, like, 90s throwback.
Yeah, movies like this, it definitely feels like, like when you have that audience that's into it and going with the flow of the film. Yeah, it makes it like that much better. But what really surprised me was Dennis Quaid. So I'm a 90s baby, and I will always know him and love him as the dad from The Parent Trap. And I was like, this man,
Right.
I was not expecting him at all, like, to do anything like this, and to see him like portray this character and bring it like the craziness out. What was it like just going head to head with him?
Man, it's crazy because, like, okay, I'm a 90s baby too. Like,
Yeah.
I was excited when he got cast for this because I was like, okay, well, I wonder what he's going to do, you know?
Yeah.
And then we get on the set, and he's, like, terrifying, and he's so crazy. And that's why, like, the actors from that generation are so iconic. Like, they're some of the last movie stars because they're willing to just go there and try anything and everything. And that's what makes them, like, special, you know? And so for me, he really elevated my performance because, like, there's one scene, I don't want to give it away, but you've seen it,
Yeah.
where we were close enough where he suddenly goes, and I was like, what? And then he goes, spit on me. And I was like, I'm going to act like I didn't hear him just say that. And then the director goes, spit on him. And I was like, oh my God, okay. So then I did like a little baby spit, like a little, and he was like, no, get one like from your stomach, like from your soul. And I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. And then I did it, you know, but it was like cool because I was like, I love this fearlessness where it's like, you're willing to go there because that's how you find the magic and that's how you create iconic performances that people remember as classics. And that's what he did in this movie. He's so phenomenal and, like, layered and interesting and crazy.
Yeah, that's good. Working with someone who was so willing to go 100% and give it their all, you know, like, go for it, let's do it.
Yeah. It's a different experience, you know. It's a different level, a different gear. So I'm very thankful that he was able to impart that to me and share that with me because I'm going to take that with me along in my career.
Yeah, so Michael Ealy, who plays your husband in the movie, Scott, you guys are, you know, pretty familiar with each other. You've done Think Like a Man 2 together. Do you find it easier to jump on projects when you know someone is you're really comfortable? I assume you're comfortable with because you guys have great chemistry on camera. Do you find it easier to jump on these type of projects knowing that someone that you know and that, you know, you got love for that's doing it with you?
Yeah, I mean, I think now that I'm married, I'm a little bit more selective about intimacy, you know? And so it's great to work with somebody that, like, you do know and you know they have a great spirit, a great heart, and you have a great friendship, and you can talk about your, you know, wife and your husband and your kids and all that stuff with, and then be able go in there and just like have fun doing the job and feel completely comfortable because you know they're serious about the craft and they're trying to, come together with you and make this relationship authentic, and it's just a complete safe space as an actor. And so it definitely was. I'm glad that it was Michael because he's a great human being, and we had fun.
It's showing that the marriage with you guys, it was just more than him being crazy and stalkerish. That's kind of having marital problems a little bit. I don't want to. It's hard to like talk about because I don't want to give too much of it away. But that's what I kind of loved about it. That it was just more than Dennis Quaid's character kind of coming in between the marriage, but there was like you guys have history of having a little bit of marital problems.
Yeah, there's some cracks in the statue for sure.
Yeah.
And I think that Dion and the writer did a really incredible job with saying like we want this couple to be real. Like we don't want like the perfect kind of American couple that everyone's like, oh yeah, we want a couple that people can relate to and see themselves in, and because you're so relatable and because you're not perfect, it makes you want to root for them more.
For sure, absolutely. It's so relatable. Do you think now, after people leave watching this movie, are going to do a little bit more background check and digging on houses when they go out and purchase? Because I feel like black folks for sure, they'll be like, I need to know if there's a crazy white man that's attached to this house. I need to know the details. I need to know info.
Because Dennis actually sold his house literally after we finished filming this movie. And we were like, good for you, because nobody was going to buy it from you after this.
Right? Oh, that is so funny.
Yeah.
Too funny. I'm curious though, Meagan, are you a big horror movie fan?
I am. I totally am. I'm a connoisseur of this genre. Like, when I was, 10 years old, one of the main things that made me want to be an actress was like Halloween 4 and 5, the little girl who was Michael Myers' niece that he was trying to kill. I was like, oh, I want to be her. I want to do those kinds of things. And so, yeah, I mean, every time I get to do something in this space, it's really, really exciting for me because it just takes me back to one of the biggest reasons why I was excited to be an actress, because that feeling of trying to survive, that height feeling, you don't get to do that in every movie. And it pushes you to a different place. You have to figure out what would you do at a certain point. When do you fall apart? When do you not fall apart? When do certain things just like kick in that become survival mode? And for me, it's just really fascinating the way the mind works. If you were ever even potentially in a situation like this, what would you do?
I'm getting the wrap up. I know you got to leave, but I do have to ask about Shazam. I know you made a little appearance in it towards the end. Just tell me what that was like. It was experience being a part of a big DC movie like that.
Oh, man, that was amazing because I literally told my husband, I was like, I want to be a superhero. I want there to be more representation for little girls to see themselves as superheroes, And so he was like, that's great, honey. He's like, but you're sitting on the couch with a glass of wine watching This Is Us. Like, what are you going to do to, basically meet God halfway?
Yeah.
And so I was like, that's a good point. Faith without works is dead. So I started working out really hard. I started learning capoeira, started learning taekwondo. And then, a year and a half later, this project came, and there were people who had seen me before and auditioned me before. And then when I left there, they called my team, and they were like, what has she been doing? She looks great. Like, she looks like a superhero. And then, thank you. Thank you. I received that.
Yeah, you look really great. I was like, man, that's a Meagan Good. But I know you got to go. Thank you for taking the time out to talk with me. I do have to say, though, my brother and I, we grew up on Cousin Skeeter. So it's really great.
Hey.
Yeah. So I had to make sure to mention that. So I appreciate it.